Hi guys, this is Connie back for more Connie Reads The Dogs of Winter. This is part 2 of chapter 30. The rains of spring came, and with them hunger. People no longer ate their lunch in the squares and parks. The rain and wind pushed the people too quickly down the sidewalks to stop and give a small begging boy a few coins so he could eat. I retreated to the metro stations, where it was always daytime and dry, and the people coming and going to and from the trains were not in such a hurry to go out in the world. Coins clinked in my hand, and bread and sausages filled our bellies. But, of course, soon rain also drove the children from the streets and the doorways and their homes of cardboard to the world below. They begged, they stole, they fought, they formed their own packs for protection against the gangs of older boys and against the militia. I'm sorry if I butcher that language. And as always, the dogs and I watched from the shadows and from the corners and from behind gleaming statues of brave men. It was on one of these rain-filled days in the ch30 metro station, Gorod station, that I heard a familiar voice as I rooted through an overflowing garbage bin. That little cockroach is barely big enough to do his work. I turned around and looked into the silver-gray eyes of Rudy. There he stood, squinting at me through a cloud of smoke, cigarette dangling from his lip. He still wore the tattered policeman's jacket and the shiny black pants. His face looked thinner. A dark bruise sprawled the length of his jaw. The smallest finger of warmth touched his ice-cold eyes. Well, look who we have here. It's the little circus mouse. I wiped my hands on my pants. Hi, Rudy. He looked me up and down and walked around me in a slow circle. What dead bum did you steal those clothes from? I got them from the Christian ladies, I said. Ah, he said, flicking his cigarette onto the floor and crushing it beneath the heel of his boot. God bless the Christian ladies. Did they fill your belly and steal your soul? Where's Tanya? I asked. Oh, they fill your belly and steal your soul. Where's Tanya? I asked, looking past him. Rarely was there a Rudy without a Tanya. He ran a dirty hand through his hair. Gone. She is gone. A chill ran through me. I had heard those words before. Is she dead? I asked, rubbing the tooth in my pocket. Yes, there had been a scream. There had been a sticky red spot on the floor that no amount of scrubbing could... She might as well be, Rudy said. His voice was heavy and soft. They took her away to an orphanage somewhere outside the city. Rudy stared at the pictures made of tiny square tiles on the walls. I tried to find her, you know. I asked around, even took a bus to the place I heard about north of the city, but... Perhaps she will come back now that it's spring, I said, and she'll have new clothes and she'll have good food. She'll have had good food to eat. And a slap came to my face. Oh, a slap to my face sent me stumbling backward against A slap to my face sent me stumbling backward against the garbage can. Stupid kid, Rudy growled. Don't you know anything? He grabbed me by the coat and shook me. The orphanages are surrounded by fences that will cut you to pieces if you try to get in or out. They work you like a dog and beat you and feed you next to nothing. The orphanages eat you alive. I gasped. Like Baba Yaga? Rudy raised his hand. I backed away to avoid another slap, but instead he ran his hand over his bruised face. Yeah, kid, like Baba Yaga. It made me sad to think of kind Tanya trapped in the witch's house, surrounded by a fence made of bones and grinning skulls. Rudy put his face back together in a cold, hard mask. Anyway, she is gone and you should be too. Why? I asked. You need to get far away, kid. You need to get out of the train stations. Why? He grabbed me again and shook me. Because I said so. That's why. Isn't that enough? I shook my head. He pushed his face close to mine. His breath was like fire and smoke. Listen to me, he hissed. The gangs are taking over the streets and the metros. They will crush little cockroaches like you beneath their boots. Do you understand? I tried to swallow beneath his clenched fists. But the dogs will protect me. Rudy glanced at old grandmother sleeping in the corner, the puppies curled against her belly. I will only tell you this once. Get out. If I see you again, I won't know you. Rudy and I stared at each other for a long moment. What about Pasha and Eula? I whispered. Eula is dead, Rudy said, and Pasha is a ghost. But a high whistle echoed from the metro entrance. A voice called out, "Hey, Rudy!" Rudy's head jerked up. His face went white, then red. 3 tall boys, draped in chains and black, their hair spiked like iron teeth, sauntered toward us. Crow boys. Rudy shoved me hard to the floor. "I told you get out of our train station, you little cockroach." The boys in black were getting closer. I could hear them laughing and spitting. Rudy grabbed my hand and jerked me to my feet, pressing something into the palm of my hand in a low voice. He hissed, "Run!" Then he yelled, "You and those stupid dogs, get the hell out of here!" I woke the puppies and grandmother and ran as fast as I could down the long hallway with grandmother panting at my heels. As we raced up the stairs, I heard laughter and a voice calling, "Run, cockroach, run!" We ran all the way to the small park with the duck pond where Little Mother and Rip liked to hunt. They raced over to greet us. Little Mother sniffed the puppies from nose to tail. Rip yipped and licked my face as I stood panting, my heart banging in my chest. Rip nudged the fingers of my closed fist. I opened my hand, the hand Rudy had pressed something into. A wad of damped rubles unfolded in my palm. Poor grandmother limped to my side and lay down with a groan. Her back legs quivered. "We'll rest here," I said to the dogs, "and wait for Lucky and Smoke. I'll get us some food, thanks to Rudy. Then we'll go back to the church basement. We'll be safe there." And that's the end of chapter 30. Be careful with that and enjoy, please and thank you, and I will see you for the next installment. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to keep doing my best to read these before I pass out. Good night.